The sudden death of her mother, Wanda, has led RORY Arky down a dark criminal path. After being arrested for destruction of property, she was bailed out of prison by her grandfather, Patry, who forced her to go undercover as an aide at her grandmother Matry's new charity to rebuild destroyed homes from the recent flood of Ultra City. RORY discovered that an excavation of a site led to the unearthing of her father Antag's remains. She confiscated the remains, working tirelessly to rebuild and resurrect the father she never knew. She was successful in bringing her father back to life, but he was only fueled by his desire for revenge against the brother who killed him. Willing to oblige, RORY purchased a nuclear missile. Ultra City's citizens were devastated by the flood and craved leadership. Patry stepped up to fill that position, supported by his family, until his son Protag discovered his father was directly involved in the flood. Tired of his repeated treachery, Protag challenged Patry in public, creating Ultra City's first presidential election. Protag's wife Luna, an updated 51U7 model, managed his campaign. Seeing how low his approval ratings were compared to his sons, Patry had his best friend and assistant Sid Kick sneak into his campaign headquarters, where Protag's adopted son, Arch IE, discovered him. Lothario, the youngest of the three Arky brothers, had repeated nightmares after a home invasion left him for dead. Working through his trauma, he graduated from the police academy and was given Officer Chris T as his partner. Chris T was a shifter and the daughter of Maximo, the ruthless entrepreneur who despised the Arky family, going as far as to kidnap Protag as an infant years ago, switching him with his own son, Beltron. Lothario and Chris T were at odds until they saved each other during a chaotic raid of Ultra City's drug cartel, sparking a secret romance. Dr. Hugh Mann, the last survivor of the human race, and KVXIV, Patry's daughter and president of the Arky Corporation, had been married a year. They were expecting their first child when Hugh was abducted by business rival Baron Danger and held for ransom. KVXIV raced to her husband's rescue, quickly dispatching Baron when she went into labor.
And now, one cycle continues.
Protag campaign headquarters was at an all-time high. Since the polls opened this morning, he was leading Patry by 50 points. Protag held Luna with his left arm, eyes beaming at the aggregate data.
I told you were in the gold, darling.
And I shall never doubt you again.
Where's Arch IE? He should be around to see this.
Still making calls to voters. The election isn't over yet.
Might as well be.
On the lower levels of Protag headquarters, at the basement switchboards, Arch IE Arky stood in a defensive stance across from Sid Kick. To what do I owe this visit, Mr. Kick? Are you lost? Shouldn't you be on the other side of town at Grandfather's HQ? Yes, I have lost my way. My GPS must be malfunctioning in my old age. Cut the act. You're either here for sabotage or to steal information. Either way, I'm taking you straight to my father. Sid Kick sensed approaching danger in 30 seconds. His survival programming kicked in, analyzing that the lower levels were heavily fortified against the incoming blast. He pushed Arch IE underneath the computer console, then jetted over to the exit to block the door with his body. What are you? Stay under the console! Luna's precog systems clocked in 10 seconds earlier than Sidkick's, allowing her to project a 360-degree protective shield from the 5th to the 3rd floor. The missile hit the shield. The building fell inward, destroying the first 2 floors. Rocks of cement poured down on the lower levels. Sidkick held on to the exit door for dear life. A sheet of cement made it through, almost crashing on top of him, when Arch IE emitted a small force field around the room to take in all the debris as they sunk lower. Outside the building, Luna strained to hold up her force field as Protag helped the survivors evacuate. When the last of them had left, he returned to his wife. The force field disappeared.
Where's Archie?
He wasn't with the survivors, but I still sense his life signs. Luna switched off the maternal section of her emotional chip that panicked so she could use her tracking to find her son. Her chest beamed orange.
I feel him too. He's so scared.
Most likely underground, which is why he can't get a strong enough signal for contact.
I'm sensing another bot with him.
Protag's eyes glowed red in anger at the revelation. At Archie Manor, Patry watched in horror as his 200-foot flat-screen TV covered the chaos at downtown Ultra City. Sid's wife, Jane E., rolled into the room.
I cannot get a word from Sid.
Relax, Pumpkin. I'm sure he's...
He could be dead, and it's all your fault.
It's true that I don't sense any life signs, but we both know he's far out of reach to indicate anything.
This is some kind of sick punishment for aligning ourselves with you in this campaign.
I'm not the one who sent a missile into my own son's campaign headquarters.
No, you're just the one to get his best friend killed, sabotaging his son's campaign.
You are clearly in duress. I suggest you either cool your chips or get out of my sight. Jane E. wheeled out of the living room. Patry returned his gaze to the TV. He wanted to become the president of Ultra City, but not like this. The election was less than secondary at the moment. He had to find out who sent that missile and deal the utmost justice. A ringing went off in Patry's mind. On the emergency family line, it was Hugh.
KV's gone into labor.
Hugh paced back and forth in the waiting room, flip phone hard pressed against his ear. What do you mean one thing at a time? No, I haven't seen the news. I was busy getting my wife to the hospital after... 1 second. Fine. Hugh took his attention away from his phone, putting it towards patients and staff gathered around the waiting room TV. The rubble of the Protag campaign headquarters prominently displayed on the screen. He slowly put the phone back up to his ear. You were saying? Lothario was on the edge of his bed, watching the unthinkable broadcast, his eyes bright white as he frantically tried to make telekinetic calls to anyone in his family who would answer. Chris T stood by him, caressing his shoulder. I got life signs from everyone, but nobody's picking up. Come on!
Mon ami, it is a stressful time for everyone.
Who could have done this?
I would expect it to be an attack from us. Yet Papa's moved on from his interest in destroying your family.
Unless
what?
He found out about us. Lothario got a telepathic call from Arch IE. Uncle Lothario? How it do, nephew? I guess you have the strongest signal in the family. Where are you? I'm caught on camp quarters. Mr. Kick helping me boost Ignal. Calm down, Arch. I'm on my way to you and your folks. Wait, you have tell them. You just listened to One Cycle to Span, Season 8, Episode 9, Part 1. This audio drama was written, recorded, performed, and edited by Drew Manning. If you enjoyed it, please stay tuned to this channel. Thank you for your time, and have a great one.